think of anything.
Batman 89 Part 2 came out.
Oh, it did? I didn't know that.
I don't know if anyone's watching, but there's a show called Ghosts that is brilliantly funny. It's BBC. It's on HBO Max.
Oh, okay.
3 seasons. It's comedy. It's sort of in the genre of What We Do in the Dark.
Oh, I love that show.
But Ghosts.
Cool.
So it's like, wait, you mean What We Do in the Shadows?
Yeah, it's like What We Do in the Shadows, but with ghosts.
Oh, nice. That sounds good. I mean, I love that show.
Yeah, Drew. Justin Bowen put me onto that show.
Oh, okay. Well, he has good taste in comedy, so if he recommended it,
Yeah. We just finished season 1, and I was just starting to watch the second episode before I came in here.
Nice.
Okay.
So yeah, definitely worth watching on HBO Max. 3 seasons. Definitely recommend it.
Okay.
I'm going to play the intro. For those of you tuning in right now, we'll play the intro, and then you'll have us on screen.
Wait, they can hear us?
Hey, you dorks, this is Gunnar Hansen, Leatherface from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and you are listening to The Dorkening.
Hi, I'm Brian Johnson, and although you probably accidentally stumbled across it and have no idea why you're watching it, you are in fact watching The Dorkening.
Hello, this is Tom Kenny, voice actor, the voice of the Ice King on Adventure Time, and SpongeBob SquarePants. Meow. Oh, Gary the Snail, too. Hey, guess what you're filling your eye holes and ear holes with? The Dorkening! Oh, I love The Dorkening. Very popular in Ooh. And Bikini Bottom.
Hi, I'm Lou Ferrigno. You're watching The Dorkening. And you know what? You don't like me when I get angry, so don't get me angry. You better keep watching The Dorkening.
Hey guys, this is Felissa Rose, and you're watching The Dorkening.
Hey guys, it's Courtney Palm. We're shooting Death House, and you're watching The Dorkening.
This is Anthony Michael Hall, and you're watching The Dorkening. Stay tuned, my friends are going to show you what entertainment's all about, baby.
The Dorkening.
The Dorkening and all affiliated shows are not intended for anyone under the age of 18. The following may contain discussions or scenes that have adult situations, graphic violence, nudity, strong sexual content, and graphic language. This show is intended for mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised.
Rise and shine, my sinners. When Father Evil starts his day, he gets a little deadly. Deadly Grounds coffee has the richest, smoothest flavor you'll find anywhere. It's sinfully delicious. Once you go deadly, you never go back. Order yours at getdeadly.com. Coffee's so good, it's scary.
Hey, happy Tuesday, everybody. You're watching Splash Pages. And that's, you know what? I'm just going to go right into it because I had a brain fart. My name's Leo. I'm the monkey behind the keyboard. And as always, Velvet Joker. How's it going, my friend?
It's going very good. How is everyone doing tonight?
Doing great. We also have the magnificent Drew Mallow. How's it going?
Oh, the show's starting. Yeah, guys, we're doing Batman Earth 1. It's going to be great.
Yeah, keep it.
Yes, and to answer you, Drew, yes, they could hear us before I hit the button.
Oh, I apologize for nothing.
Oh, you said Batman. We drink now, right?
I hate you. No. What we said was
up today?
No. It's not. That's not tonight. What we said is that we were thinking about we're reviewing One More Day, but we were gonna drink during it. It was gonna be called One More Drink.
Oh, right. I got confused.
I mean, if you want to drink now, that's fine. It's a Tuesday. That no one will judge you.
Yeah. It's after work.
Yeah, it's after work. You know, fall is almost upon us. This means the spooky season is almost up. So
even better means pumpkin.
Yeah, harvest moon.
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna be the minority here in the regards of I don't really care for the pumpkin products. Me, it's apple cider all the way.
Well, apple cider.
You know,
what about apple cider donuts?
Well, yeah, Leo. I hate to tell you, I think I need to eat less. Okay, you know, for me, it's just like when everyone's like, "Oh my God, it's pumpkin spice this, pumpkin spice that, pumpkin." I was like, okay, like I get it, but this is the part of the season they don't like, is everything is pumpkin spice. Like, why?
Yeah.
But,
you ever go to one of those old-fashioned like apple cider mills?
Oh yeah, all the time. Heck, my grandfather actually had an old-fashioned cider press. At one time, I was actually able to mash up the apples we picked and to make apple cider. And let me tell you, that was a great day. There was also some great cider. I mean, I did drop it after I finished making it, but you know, no one's perfect. I was proud for 10 seconds. No, but it's a great season coming up, especially October is coming up in 2 weeks. So that means all the scary movies, all the costumes, all of the creepiness it's like The Purge, but better.
Oh yeah. How I'm assuming you're going to go out as a, well, actually you could go out as anything.
I can go out as anything. You know, it's not just Ghostbusters.
I know.
Chameleon.
You know?
He's the chameleon.
I'm a chameleon. Chameleon.
Fan of many states.
What the hell? So before we get into Batman, how are you guys doing?
Doing okay.
Aces.
Yeah. Things, you know, busy as usual, but you know, things are good.
That's good.
I turned 19 yesterday.
Oh wow! Congrats.
Yeah.
They grow up so fast, don't they, Rich?
I'm be Amazoning him some cool Marvel compression shirts. Marvel and DC.
Nice.
He's fitting.
That's cool.
Worked out. Anyway, that's so exciting. Everyone, little part of my life.
Well, if it's exciting for you, it's exciting for us. You know?
Well, you saw the cool image, and they were very cool. Right. One with a devil, one with a demonic bear. Superman.
Evil Superman or regular Superman?
He just wanted the white shirt, which is the Superman symbol.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the one he liked. And I was surprised he didn't pick Deadpool or Venom. That was very surprising. But, you know, It is what it is.
Is everything flooded with Venom merchandise since the movie's coming out?
Yeah, how
Totally
do you guys feel about that?
About what?
About the new Venom movie?
Yeah, it looks cool.
Yeah.
Based on the trailer. I didn't hate the first one. I mean, I know if you're trying to compare it to comics and the whole origin thing, of course, but I didn't hate it. It was fairly entertaining. If you took away that it as a separate entity than the comic.
I mean, I was surprised at how much I actually enjoyed the first one. I was like, wow, this is actually like entertaining. Like, the fanboy in me, still cried foul. There's no Spider-Man. He can't be Venom. But, they actually did a good job with certain things. And the humor was actually funny. I mean, for me, the thing that I loved is my parents talking to me about Venom. Like they had no idea. Like, they're like, oh my God, you should see Venom. And they're doing the voices and whatnot. And I was just like this. And me and my sister, I'm just looking at my sister. I was like, and they look like this thing that they're talking about, I've known for years. Like, you have just discovered Venom. I have lived with it. I have seen it become a part of Spider-Man mythos. Like, mother, you bought me the first appearance. I read it to shreds, and I've regretted that every day. But the second one is good. I'm just a little wary about the humor, because I don't want them to make Venom too dumb, if that makes sense. But I feel like with Woody Harrelson as Carnage, and then also what I like is that you see other characters, like we saw Shriek, who, as we know, is kind of like his psycho literal girlfriend. And a couple of other characters, like, okay, so we're kind of Maximum Carnaging this a little, kind of. But my favorite was just Venom is like, he sees Carnage is red, and he's like, oh no, that is a red one.
I'm with you. I enjoyed the first one. I know it gets a lot of hate. But the second one, I mean, I love Woody Harrelson, and just having him in the movie, it gives it some credence.
Is that coming out soon, Drew? Do we know?
I'm not really sure. I feel like it does. I mean, listen, my timeline is so off. I keep I even had no idea that they were doing a Y the Last Man series, and then I just saw it on Hulu, and I was like, huh, okay, like, I'll get to that. I mean, listen, I'm so behind on everything. I never even watched the Sweet Tooth series. I heard that was great. I still have to watch Marvel What If. Yeah. I'm just like, I've been so busy this month that to nerd, I save for October.
I don't know how you roll out. I mean, I read a lot of the articles that you post, and I don't know how you keep churning that out.
Energy drinks, a lot of naps, and then I really don't actually. I've never tried an energy drink in my life. I honestly feel like it's just, yeah. I never got around a Monster or a Red Bull, or the most that I do is Arnold Palmer's.
Yeah, when I worked IT, I lived off of energy drinks, and but I also combined it with caffeine pills, and it was not good.
Drew, is there a numbered quota that you have to hit every week of articles?
They ask us to do about 10 to 15 a month. So I usually try to pump out like 1, maybe 2 a day. Sometimes it really does depend on what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to do that, plus my other job, plus my other job with Screen Rant, plus spending time with Ange, spending time for myself, reading. That's some of that time. Yeah, I usually don't go to bed till like midnight. So, life is good. It's just busy. Yeah. So sleep is great. I can't tell you how much I enjoy my 6 to 8 hours. Like, boy, do I love it, Rich. I love it so much.
just a few years ago, I used to be able to pop at 5 in the morning, 4 in the morning, even when I had the bagel shop, 2, 3 in the morning. But man, getting up before 7:30 right now is so difficult. So difficult.
Yeah, I mean, I've always been an early bird, but I can't even. It's one of those, you know. But you know, I choose the subjects I like. I do my best to get them out on time. Sometimes I admit I'm a little bad with deadlines, so I try to get as much as I can out when I can get it out. And if it sits for a while before it goes up, it's fine. I mean, my editors are really understanding and very cool. So, you know, it's just it's nice when I'm like, oh my god, I wrote 500 articles. I'm like, well, that's neat. And some people are like, wow, that's a big deal. And I'm like, I guess I just write.
See, now you got a book right there.
Yeah.
I guess. So
do they give you any tools for like research or?
Oh yeah, we have websites for any of those who want to try out for Screen Rant. I can't speak for the other departments, but I can speak for comics. You get great editors, all the resources that you can need for sites that you can use to read and absorb information and whatnot. And yeah, they let you write it, you put together the TLDR because some people don't want to read. They'll just picture, 15 words or less, done.
Yeah.
And
well, I mean, as of they're coming out with all these like AI tools for writing and stuff like that. For like, do they give you, you know, hey, we want a Batman article, and you know, we're looking for, you know, not give you the exact topic, but say, hey, there, you know, there's Cobblepot is like trending, so let's try to get Cobblepot in there.
Well, I mean, they'll make suggestions about it. Like right now, we're really mining a lot of connections to Sam Raimi's stuff with the big change that they did recently in the comics of Norman Osborn / the Green Goblin's origin. I don't know if you guys read or heard about that, but I mean, Rich, you did, right? You heard about the deal Norman made?
It's amazing. I think we talked about that with Chris. You weren't here. We talked about Chris a little bit. Leo easily gets confused because there's a lot of information in that.
There is.
Yes. And I actually, Drew, I was not caught up, but I quickly got caught up in that one issue.
Yeah. But yeah, so spoiler, Leo, is that now, instead of just a mere lab accident gone horribly, horribly wrong, Norman Osborn made a deal with the devil.
Oh.
So not only is Mephisto responsible for leading up to the events that created the Green Goblin, but now the Green Goblin is essentially made in the image of said such devil, which makes him essentially an agent of the devil, but puts a different spin on a lot of iconic Green Goblin moments. For example, and I'm sure Rich read this one, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man, the scene where he interrupts her praying. And you know, they're coming in, and then finish it. You know, and she finishes the prayer. You know, normally that was a mocking, like, your faith will not protect you from me. But now it's like, okay, bitch just got attacked by a demon.
Speaking of Green Goblin, there was a picture posted today that he is actually in the trailer. There's an explosion, and it's like you can see him in the background.
Okay.
I mean, we see the pumpkin bomb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, did you hear about Topher Grace?
I saw that. That was a beautiful troll move.
Have you heard it?
Oh my!
No,
okay, so he did a Reddit AMA, and somebody was asking because he played Venom in Spider-Man 3.
Right.
So somebody asked, "Are you in the new Spider-Man movie?" And this is his response. Please keep it between us, but yes, I am in it. The plot starts with Peter Parker, Tom Holland, bummed that everybody knows his identity, and then some crazy shit happens with Doctor Strange, Dr. Octopus, Alfred Molina comes into his dimension, then Electro and a Green Goblin hop out of one of those energy circles, and they're like, it's spider stomping time. The Tom Hardy and I pop out of the bottle, battle each other, and I win, obviously. It's like not even a fight. I just kick his ass immediately. Not to give too much away, but there's also some actors from the original 70s Spider-Man show. Aquaman and Batman, Affleck, not Keaton crossover. And thanks to Disney, Han Solo's Ghost from Rise of Skywalker and Eve Robot from Wall-E. Again, please keep this between us.
Nice.
Yeah.
He's having fun.
He is, yeah.
I mean, honestly, he just like a lot of other people in the movie get shit on. And you just got to admire that he was able to kind of keep his career after that, because there have been flops that some people never recover from. And it wasn't exactly a flop, but, compared to the first two, it was not well received.
No, not at all.
Well, I think that dance really.
What's the funny thing is that I was talking about this because I was at a wedding this weekend, and I was talking about this with one of my friends, and I like how normally in superhero movies everybody compares to what you shouldn't do is Spider-Man 3. I think nerds, and I need to speak this to all of you out here who are watching, all 9 of you, probably more, but we need to realize that the film that we hold comparison to should not be Spider-Man 3. It should be Mortal Kombat Annihilation, because that movie crammed way too many characters in 2.5 something hours, did nothing with a lot of them, and then made their big main character a freaking kaiju. Okay? That's my thoughts, everybody. That is the gold, or in this case, shitty standard that we shouldn't try to reach, where we just have a bunch of unnecessary characters that are just put in there for fan service that do absolutely bupkis. Thank you, and good night.
Do you put that above Street Fighter, the movie?
Yes. Okay. And I did say this because as much as people love that movie, I fell asleep in that movie, and I have absolutely no desire to watch it again, because besides Raul Julia, I didn't care.
Yeah. What was even funnier was they came out with Street Fighter, the video game, the movie, the video game.
That's a long title for an NES.
Yeah. I don't know what the actual title was, but they made a video game off the movie that was based off of a video game.
What was that, like Sega?
I think so. Yeah.
Sega.
Rich, there was a lot of mistakes made back then. So, we had to. How would we learn if we weren't willing to make mistakes?
Evolution. Can you believe Pong is now whatever video games we have that are current, exciting?
Hey, listen. I mean, people talk about getting annoyed at their game. I was like, listen, y'all don't know how tough it was playing Frogger on an Atari.
Yeah, I was gonna say I could still play Ms. Pac-Man all day. That's like one of my favorites.
Oh yeah, but for me it was Frogger. I was like, I remember waking up when I was a kid, and my dad still had one. I remember waking up extra early, get ready for school and everything, just so I could have 8 minutes of Frogger.
Nice.
Just 8 minutes of that bright, obnoxiously colored, simple game of a frog somehow going nowhere.
Getting across the street, not getting squashed.
You're not getting squashed. No. It wasn't just that. Then you also have to get across the logs.
Yeah.
The alligators, ants. I don't really know what else. I only got past the 3rd level because, again, I was like 6. This was a big deal for me. This is before PlayStation revolutionized everything in my brain.
And you had to get to the girl frog, too.
There you go. I didn't even know there was a girl frog, so there you go.
Yeah.
We've come a long way from that in Galaga.
Oh, yeah. How about asteroids? I love asteroids.
Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
I remember playing that on my Game Boy Color, and I was like, man, Mario for a big guy is very flexible. He's a plumber, but he's doing all these backflips and shit,
Facebook user says, weird fact, there was never a Batman game for the Atari 2600, but there was a Spider-Man game.
I think there was a Superman game, too.
Superman had one as well, yeah.
Yeah, Superman. There you go. It was funny. I was talking to a friend of mine, and we were getting in a debate about the best Spider-Man theme. And I was like, it's a tie between Spectacular and the Spider-Man the animated series in terms of just pure iconic. No. Don't you got to give the original, Spider-Man. But
what about Spider-Man and his amazing friends?
that's fine too.
Okay.
But I'm just saying, in terms of, like, don't get me wrong, you got to give credit to where credit's due. But those, to me, that and Spectacular were two of the catchiest.
Yeah.
Because I just remember, it wasn't like the Aerosmith guitarist did like the guitar for the Spider-Man animated series. So you had that
was my favorite one for sure.
Yeah, because you have that and he's like, I'm like, what is that? But then I don't know. For me, I mean, don't get me wrong, that's the most iconic, but Spectacular Spider-Man was the catchiest, and that show was great. And I don't understand why we had to cancel that. But I'm bitter because I'm old, so fine. Is that right, Rich? You just
homage to Spider-Man. Spider-Man does whatever a spider can.
Every day.
Yeah.
All right.
Facebook user says, this is Chris. By the way, it won't show my name. It's weird. Yeah, I think you, he also says it's on Disney Plus. Everything's on Disney Plus. Chris, I think you need to actually like StreamYard in order for them to link up. I think.
But we're not.
Drew, do you have access to HBO Max?
Yeah, why?
They did a really cool thing for Batman Day, and you can still access it all month. If you go down in the lower left corner, something called Hubs, you just go right into DC. It's really expansive. Okay. Really impressed with the thoroughness of it. I pointed it out to Leo. I don't know how much he got to check it out.
Well, there's a documentary, a Ghostbusters documentary called Cleaning Out the Town that's supposed to be coming into theaters soon. That is that's in my mind a little bit probably might be a little bit more comprehensive than the original Ghostbusters documentary. I think there was Ecto Heads or some Ghost Heads, which was fine, but I'm not going to air my grievances here because I don't know who's listening. Yeah, but I'll check that out. Thank you, Rich.
Yeah.
And speaking of Batman,
yeah. Just real quick, this is what Rich was talking about.
God damn.
The Batman collection.
Look at that beauty.
And they added a Batman the Audio Adventures.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I saw that too. I haven't got to check that out yet.
Look at all those beautiful, beautiful things.
And I don't know. I never also checked out that last animated thing that he did in the classic 66 style that was still voiced by Adam West right before he passed.
Oh, yeah. The one where isn't that the one where Shatner voiced Two-Face? Right?
I do not know.
Yeah. Good times.
Yeah. Well, yes. So speaking of, let me
Batman.
Right here. Yeah. So I'm gonna channel my inner Sophia, and actually, Facebook user says it got canceled because of Disney. And Cleaning Up the Town is on streaming because been out since last year. And so tonight we're going to be talking about Batman Earth 1, volumes 1, 2, and 3. Volume 1 came out in 2012. So channeling my inner Sophia, picture it, Cicely, 2012. And in 2012, we saw the economy return, but unfortunately also Hurricane Sandy and Sandy Hook.
Yep.
Yeah, we paid a ticket price. Actually, I did not write that down. I'm sorry. I don't know the ticket price, but figure
it was expensive.
$12. Yeah. If you're a kid in 2012, I'm sorry. Saturday morning cartoons were phased out in 2011. And I didn't know they lasted that long. But you did get Adventure Time, Regular Show, Penguins of Madagascar, and Kung Fu Panda Legends of Awesomeness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah, it was.
They were good times.
Gas cost a whopping $3.64 a gallon. The top-selling comics of 2012 was Walking Dead number 100, Uncanny Avengers number 1, Avengers versus X-Men number 1, Amazing Spider-Man 711, and All New X-Men number 1. Actually, that's Spider-Man 700. Sorry, I mistyped.
I own almost all of those.
Really?
Of course you do.
Of course I do.
It was a heavy Marvel year because top movie, Avengers, also Dark Knight Rises, The Hunger Games, Skyfall, and Twilight Saga Breaking Dawn Part 2. For those of you.
Better less said than better.
Yeah.
May of 2011 Avengers, by the way.
Really? May of 2011? Then why did it show up for 2012?
All I know is that there was a time when you could spend an entire day and just watch all Marvel movies, and it was great. Now it's 2 days. Oh, I did that thing where we watched all the Marvel movies in a row and then ended with Avengers, and it was a great day, but I will never eat popcorn again. I had so
Did you do that in the theater?
Mm-hmm.
What's that?
Yeah, I we watched all of the. Oh yeah, I caught some Z's during Iron Man 2.
Oh, it was 2012. All right, my bad. My mistake.
He's human.
Facebook user corrected me. He said it was 2012. So I am corrected.
You are corrected.
Well, I feel redeemed. I got a little nervous there. I'm like, did I look up the wrong year?
Mhm.
Top TV for 2012. It's a lot of variation. NCIS, Sunday Night Football, Big Bang Theory, NCIS Los Angeles, and Person of Interest. And the best-selling games of 2012, Call of Duty Black Ops #2, Madden NFL 13, Halo 4, Assassin's Creed #3, and Just Dance 4.
Uh-huh.
A lot of originality there.
Can you believe that was almost 10 years ago?
Yeah.
I'm kind of like dealing with that. I'm like, really?
Time flies.
I guess so, but goddamn, my dude. But it is what it is.
Older you get, the faster it comes, Drew.
Can you not? Okay, don't do that. Don't
Embrace
remind me of what you know what? It's so much funnier when I resist. All right, so Batman Earth 1. I will say this, that this was my suggestion, and I'm very glad of it. I discovered this by random because a friend of mine recommended it to me. I was like, you should really read this. Like, you love Elseworlds. It's right up your alley. It's just a new thing. And I was like, okay. And I never heard of the Earth 1 stuff because by this time out, Superman Earth 1 was already a thing, and that was with JMS and Shane Davis, which I do have read and actually did enjoy. And I read this and I was like, wow, this is really interesting. Like, this is taking the Batman story and making some interesting changes to it, but still keeping it Batman. I don't know why he zoomed in on me. Leo, don't do that.
You were given.
I'm just kidding. It's all good.
I
But
was giving you your limelight.
I'm not the handsome one here. We already said Rich is that the good hair, you've got the tech, and I've got the humor. With all things considered, we're an award-winning show.
We are.
We are.
Apparently. So,
Has anyone award yet?
What happened?
Not yet. I'll message Justin to find out what's up.
Not stressed about it. I was just curious.
Yeah. But I'm very excited, and I'm very also excited we all read all 3 volumes. So thank you, Leo. I hadn't read the 3rd one. So that is the first thing I did when I found I was like, oh, I'm going to read some comics today. Shh. But yeah, I very much enjoyed this. And I'm really glad we're going to get to describe all this. Everyone go out and buy this book. All comic stores have it. And yes, Barnes & Noble. I mean that too. So, all right.
So why don't you give us the synopsis of
Sure.
Batman Earth 1, Volume 1.
Mm-hmm. And just because I like showing off little thing here, and if you see this, wait, that's autographed by the artist Gary Frank, who I got to meet at Comic-Con a couple of years ago. Really nice guy. He signed both my volumes. Wonderful. All right, so Batman Earth 1. Imagine Batman is not a hero. He is just a man, fallible, vulnerable, and angry. In a Gotham City where friend and foe are indistinguishable, Bruce Wayne's path toward becoming the Dark Knight is riddled with more obstacles than ever before. Focused on punishing his parents' true killers and the corrupt police that allowed them to go free, Bruce Wayne's thirst for vengeance fuels his mad crusade, and no one, not even Alfred, can stop him. In the tradition of the #1 New York bestselling Superman Earth 1, writer Geoff Johns and artist Gary Frank reimagined a new mythology for the Dark Knight, where the familiar is no longer the expected. In this long-awaited original graphic novel from DC Comics. Wow.
Awesome. Love it.
I wanted to read that in my Conroy voice, but I was like, no, this is fine.
Well, you did a fine job, my friend. A fine
You're
job.
welcome. Yeah, well, one of these days I've always wanted to do, I think I've watched our intro so much. I wanted to like write it all down and then try to do it all myself just to see how ridiculous it would be. Even the female parts, just, just to see if I could get the voices or the cadence wrong, right? And just see if it would be just as entertaining. I'm like, no, I'm no Anthony Michael Hall.
Yeah, Leo, what happened to that animated intro that you showed us months ago?
I've been afraid to play it because somebody said that I could get hit with like a copyright. So I've been afraid to play it, but I think they're wrong. So I might just add it.
I'm gonna just double check on that before, because the last thing you need is we're an award-winning show. Click that's being sued.
Yeah.
You're nobody been sued.
Exactly. We're really somebody now. We got an award and a lawsuit. Man, like
I'm sure my wife will love that.
Oh yeah, that'd be just great.
We would just get a cease and desist, just a cease and desist, and if we didn't take it off, then it would be a lawsuit.
Exactly. I don't know.
See?
I would.
You got to play the angles. You got to play the angles.
Red tape, Leo. Look for the red tape, and don't get wrapped in it.
Right.
That's a lot of red tape.
All right. By Leo, double axes. For
double
axes. And tape.
All right. So I had to stop my gum because I kept blowing bubbles, and I know Rich was distracting Rich because he looked at me. He was like,
I totally wanted to like pop it through the window, but I knew it wouldn't work.
And it's funny because Geoff Johns said that one of the big things that he wanted to do here that was different was actually have Batman, you could see Batman's eyes, because he felt that it humanized Batman a bit more. Because again, people are used to like the mask with hiding the eyes to complement his otherworldly demeanor. So he wanted to make sure that Gary Frank, who does a great job in all the volumes, you wanted to see the eyes, so it kind of makes him more of a man, or at least grounds him in that regard. Because this is an early Batman.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
This is Batman just starting out, and I love Gary Frank's art. He did Superman Secret Origin, with it was he drew it like Christopher Reeve.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely love it. But yeah, it's now that you said that with his eyes, it totally makes sense, because it definitely gave, it definitely humanized him.
Oh, 100%. So it's hard because the fan in me wants to go over all the big scenes and just show off all the great artwork and pacing. But I also know somebody here, and I quote, said, I 50% loved it and 50% hated it. Can you guess who that was, kids? I'll give you a hint.
Who, me? Me?
Oh, yeah, 100% you.
No, my main problem with this story is
this volume,
we
right?
have to see them die again. Oh my God, that story just beat it to death. You're killing me. Killing me.
I think my favorite is, I remember, like, I don't know why this still makes me laugh. They were talking about the MCU bringing back Uncle Ben, and they had that SpongeBob meme where he's afraid about getting beat up by the old guy. and that one fish, Harold, I think it is basically being the antagonistic one, and he's just like, "How many times must we teach you this lesson, old man?" And I was like, "Oh God, it's kind of the same thing with the Waynes." I was like, "How many times must we teach you this lesson?"
They must beat us over the head with those stupid pearls.
I think we should count how many times it's been done over.
So many times.
Leo, you know what? If you want to do that, you get back to us there, Pumpkin. Okay?
Yeah. I'm going to let you do the research on that one.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're starting a new show with Brandon that's Batman specific, and
nice.
Yeah, the Dork Night, right?
Dork Night, yeah. It's Brandon, I wanted to get him to start a show, so he's doing one on it's called Comics Paradox, and it's just what ifs.
Oh, that's great.
Or DC and Marvel, what if type storylines.
So like Marvel what ifs and then Elseworlds kind of deal.
Yep. And so he's doing a show every other week. So the off weeks, we started recording something called the Dork Night, but we recorded Batman number 200 last week.
Oh, that was a good one.
Week before, yeah. But it kicks it off with the retelling of the Wayne's death, and it was like,
if you ever need help with that, or if there are certain stories, I have a decent collection of Batman Elseworlds on my own, and I have no problem talking about some of them because some of them are fucking brilliant.
So, Justin and Brandon.
Justin and Brandon, yeah.
Okay,
that's an interesting combination.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, well, we can talk about that another time.
Yeah.
We'll continue with Batman Earth 1. So getting back to Rich, why you didn't?
Yeah, that was just my big thing. I again, you just beat that thing to death, and you're killing me. And I realize you're retelling a story, and then there are aspects of the story that I really like. I actually thought it was really interesting, the Alfred angle. You got young Alfred. And he's put into the position after the Waynes die, where the Waynes are like, yeah, we want Alfred to be the guardian, and he knows nothing about it. He was not made aware.
Right.
He's not. He looks like he's a guy like in his mid to late 40s. Obviously, military background, and certainly not a guy that's going to take care of little.
The thing that I also like is that, again, with this, is that there are certain small touches here that I really enjoyed, like making like the Penguin the mayor. That was great.
Yeah.
Making Martha Wayne, who is, again, I feel like we know so much more about Thomas than we ever really did Martha. So to make her an Arkham was a genius move. And to make them kind of literally the architects of Gotham, or at least this Gotham, was great. And there's what I also like is that we've read all 3 volumes. There are still stories in each of them that I would love for them to explore. Like what happened in the desert that Thomas and Alfred experienced together. It was just great. And then the cast is fantastic because you have Gordon, who's basically Gordon, but a little different. And I have to say, this is one of my favorite versions of Harvey Bullock.
Oh, totally.
Yeah. I'm glad you mentioned that. This is a phenomenal fleshing out of the Harvey Bullock character.
What a jackass. In the best way possible.
A jackass, but sort of like, you had a reversal of roles where you had Harvey that really wanted to go after these unsolved cases, and it was for ulterior motives, but then you also had Gordon that was like, he didn't really give a fuck, it was just, he did, but he had his own motives for not really.
He was going through the motions.
Yeah. And what actually turned to Gordon. Not Gordon. Yeah.
At the end, right.
Yeah. And we'll get to that.
We will. That's one of the best parts of this. Yeah, like this whole thing, and I love it because let's essentially call this what it is. This is Geoff Johns and Gary Frank. They did their version of Batman Year One. This is him starting off. You know, we get this better idea, like, and all the major things are here. They're getting afraid by the bats. You know, Alfred is the surrogate parent, becoming Batman. You know, being inspired by it. You know, and then one of the other great characters is you have this original character, or at least to me was original. You have Jessica Dent, and then you have her bully brother Harvey, who just does not like Wayne, and he just fights with him. And to me, again, the foreshadowing was great because you notice the side that gets punched by Harvey, it's her deformed side. You know, so there's a lot of really great foreshadowing, which I don't know if it was more Geoff Johns or if it was more Gary Frank doing, but it was great. Even this was like in Year One with Flass and Gordon. Remember the whole interrogation, except this time, like you said, Harvey is basically Gordon, and in some ways, Gordon is Flass. He's just, this is Gotham. You need to accept it. And then what I like, another thing I really enjoyed is that how all the characters are introduced. Like one of my favorite moments is when Lucius Fox is like, there's no mountains in Gotham. And he's like, sure there are. You know, that was great. Like there are really small moments here that I thoroughly enjoyed, both as Geoff Johns being a storyteller and as Gary Frank being his collaborator. Like they clearly work well with each other. So, you know, like
the Lucius Fox angle was fun, and when he assembles a team to build different things for Mr. Wayne, and he's like, all right, he's done with that now. And they're like, what? We've been working on this for like 9 months. What are you talking about?
No, you
like,
know,
well, he's eccentric, he's crazy, but he's paying us.
You see, the one thing that I really like about here is for an original villain, I felt the birthday boy was really one of the scariest. You know, just the theme, how it was like presented and everything was, it definitely gave me, in terms of a horror background, Friday the 13th Part 2, you know, when Jason is the hangman noose, the executioner's hood. You know, I mean, again, what I liked is that we really didn't see him for most of the comic, and that really added to how dangerous he was. It's kind of like in Jaws where you barely see it until bam. Like even this moment here was great because you think Batman's got the upper hand and he just proves it again. I am inexperienced. I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing. You know?
Yeah, he's not even a detective at this point.
Exactly. And that was really interesting because in another world, who else would teach him to be a detective? It's like James Gordon, of course. Like, hell, even this, he accidentally broke Gordon's nose. You know? Like, how wonderful. Like, yeah, next page. Just wham. You know?
And this is also a Batman that didn't really go through that much training. You know, Alfred taught him to fight, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You know, and he didn't really, there was no telling of, you know, him going to school to learn and whatnot. But yeah, it's definitely not the Batman Year One that we're used to.
It really wasn't. But like him crashing the party was great because you get that intro feel that to me kind of felt a little Spider-Man-ish. You know, kind of like the, oh, oops. Like, look at that. It's just, again, and I gotta say, like, the way Gary Frank does his full pages spreads, like, they're beautiful. Look at the detail, you know, everybody is, you know, everybody's fleshed out. There's really nothing lost in the background. You know, it's just like, that's a cover photo right there.
Yeah.
Right.
Do you think this was done to mirror in year one, Batman crashing through the window of the mobsters?
It could be. I never really thought about that, but that's a really good way, because he does the smoke screen and does the disappearing. So that could be definitely something. Yeah, it was great. And then, like, I don't know who I enjoy more, if I enjoy younger Alfred or just older Alfred, because he just does not give a like, he's the most no chill character in this entire series. Like, he's just like, what? But again, just like in Spider-Man, when I talk with Chris's book, I love the horror angle here. Like, this whole thing about the Arkham house. Like, I just found it to be wonderfully foreboding, and it was just great.
Just real quick, is that somebody's fire alarm going off?
Not here. I hear what you're hearing.
Yeah.
I think that's somewhere like on my end.
Okay.
Okay.
Just want to make sure nobody's house is on fire in there.
No, sir.
Make sure you guys are safe. You know, top priority. You know.
Yeah. No, we're good.
Okay.
But no, but and again, the book paces itself very well. You know, every story beat is covered. I thought it was wonderful. Like, look at Oswald Cobblepot. Like, and again, he's very a nice mix of classic Oswald. You see some flashes of that. I wouldn't say deformed. It's really kind of more of what they later jump back on, like in the 90s, No Man's Land, when he's running the show with Iceberg Lounge. Like, this is a powerful man. Like, you know, especially like, oh God, this creeped me out a little.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, you'll do. He's licking the tears. I'm like, oh my God, what a creep. You know?
Yeah. I found the story definitely very dark. You know, especially with the birthday boy or whatever his name is.
That's right.
You know, towards the end, and we'll get to that in a second. But what happens to Cobblepot, and even in book 2 to Riddler, how just willy-nilly he just and we'll get to it as well, how he just kills people left and right. It's
this was one of my favorite parts, was the fight between Alfred and Bruce, because I thought it was just such an interesting rite of passage in a way, because this is Bruce proving himself. This is Alfred's like, you're not ready. You don't have the drive to do what's necessary to protect Gotham. And you get one of the best twists of all, that Alfred is he's also another thing. We just easily wreck a pivotal part of Batman culture right then and there. The clock that would guard the Batcave just knocked over like nothing. See, bang, gone. And then the same thing, but Alfred is missing a leg. He's got a prosthetic, you know, and I just love that. And it's just like, Alfred, I was like, no, I will do what I have to, with or without you. And then he's like, man, maybe he is ready. Like, it was very action movie-esque to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And also earlier we saw Alfred trying to force a gun on Bruce. You know, trying to convince him that he needed a gun for Gotham. And obviously he did not take it.
No, he did not. And you had this murder, which is very brief. But, you know, what's also nice is the book, I feel, it doesn't drag things out. It says what it needs to. It's very simple, boom, 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 and then we move on. You know, I feel like some books that really draw it out for some reason. I'm like, quick, to the point, you know?
Well paced.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I love this twist here where Bullock takes out the evidence
in Gordon's name.
Yeah. And then we get Barbara getting abducted.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just how everything, just a domino effect,
Mhm.
and where that's the breaking point for Gordon.
Yeah, but I will say that one scene is pretty great, where it's Harvey. Like, now I understand Gotham. It's not good cop, bad cop. It's Gotham. It's bad cop, bad cop. you know, hey, like right there, just and then the next panel is bam.
Yeah, that's a fun panel.
Yeah,
that was great. Especially because if you scroll down, then you see his face. He's like, hey, it's bad cop, bad cop. Just like scroll down a little, Leo. He's like, oh my god. But then when he's back at Arkham, the Arkham house, the same house that he promised his mother that he'd never go inside, this whole thing with the maze and the evil spirits and whatnot. Again, it shows to me that Geoff Johns really did his homework, because that was definitely something that earlier Batman stories touched on, that Gotham is a cursed land. So it was just nice to kind of touch on that, but again, something different. I mean, for me, I think one of the most horrifying moments is that we don't see, like, look at that. That is just terrifying.
Yeah, that's pretty menacing. If you're a little kid.
I got a birthday coming up, and I would not want someone to bring me a cake like that. Like, God, no.
Leo, scratch that idea, okay?
Okay.
But
we already hired Kane Hodder to dress up for him, and it was
here's a birthday candle for you.
We can get our deposit back.
Okay.
Right. But the other thing that I like is that you spend this entire book, Gordon is not an ally of Batman. The entire time he's like, who the fuck is this guy? Like, hell, he almost shoots him here when he's looking for Barbara, because he is freaked the fuck out because a serial killer has his daughter. Like, look at that right there. So great. This panel, just sometimes, like, again, this one panel freaked me out. Like, I think that's an Alice in Wonderland quote.
You'll all go crazy.
Yeah, because then like, we're all crazy in here. Isn't that from The Looking Glass? Yeah.
The Mad Hatter.
Yeah. And then like, he's fighting Batman, but Barbara is literally in danger. And again, like, Batman, he's not a detective, but he still notices things. And then you have one of my favorite panels is just on the next page, like in true Batman style. Just look at that, man, bursting through the walls. Like, again, the juxtaposition of images is just, it's all happy, horror, fun, and then I'm Batman.
Say it again. Say it again.
I hate you both. But but for me, the other great moment was that you had what Harvey saw. You don't need to see it. You already know what was down there. And Batman has the best line for it. He's like, evil, real evil. And I'm like, it's just so great. Because again, you don't need to see it, but it's horrifying.
Yeah.
Like, that's just good storytelling.
Just look at the look of horror on his face.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you just see a little glimpse of it with just some flies and
snapping of bones.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just horrible. Yeah, and then using the cape as a weapon to disable the birthday boy was just wonderful.
Oh, yeah.
But I have to be honest with you, while this was good, it was the final battle with Cobblepot that was just perfect, because it mocks one of the biggest Batman moments. It's the, who are you? Vengeance. And he just laughs. So dramatic. And it's the same thing, like, what are you going to do? Stop me with an umbrella? And then he stabs him. I was like, yeah, we, well, a little cocky coming in there, Bruce. Like, it's a lot of rookie mistakes, but it's just so great. But I have to. When I first read it, I did not expect what Alfred would do.
Yeah, that totally threw me off. How about you, Rich?
Yeah, I did not see that. I did not see that coming. I did not see Alfred pulling a bullet in old Cobblepot.
But what I like is like, again, you got the speech. It's like there's two kinds of people in Gotham. There are predators and prey, and there's a third kind, Cobblepot. And then you just see Alfred there, survivors, and then just boom.
You know, look on his face. He's like, "All right, I fucked up."
Well, I think, and then even here, the next one is the fact that the umbrella opened and just fluttered down. I was like, that little whimsy, you know? What's also interesting, and I don't know if you guys pick this up, that they always toy with this idea that if he finds his parents' killers, you know, and whatnot, that that'll be enough. Like he can close up his mission. And it'll never be like, you realize the same thing we know is like once he's begun, it'll never stop. Because it's not as much a matter of, yes, you've avenged yourself, but what about the other people that need that somebody to protect them? You know, what about the others whose deaths went unavenged? Who is going to be their hero?
Yeah.
You know, like you understand that once Bruce makes that choice, he's never going to be the same.
Right. Attached to Gotham.
Mm-hmm.
I love this panel with Lucius. You know, he doesn't say anything, and they're talking about how Gotham is changing, and he's
making batarangs.
Yeah. So I like it that, you know, he's full in.
Mm-hmm. And even this scene where you have kind of Gordon redeeming himself, where he's just like, I'm not letting any of this slide anymore. Like, this guy's the bad guy. He's going down.
Yeah. And the two cops. Who the heck was that? Hell if I know.
I know. You know, no, it was great. And even and again, there's so much foreshadowing here. Like, you got Barbara considering being Batgirl. You got Harvey Bullock becoming a boozy alcoholic. You have a new mayor of Gotham who happens to be the twin sister of Harvey Dent. You know, like, oh crap, this can't go well.
And you mentioned the foreshadowing with Harvey Dent in this book, but it also happens in the second book as well, where just the shadows. It's.
Yep.
But then I think they were. I don't know if we want to get into spoilers or not, but I think they did the foreshadowing really heavy with that because of how everything transpired.
Oh, totally. We'll get to that in a minute.
Yep, totally.
But yeah, and even this, like the little hug, you know, and I just love the way Alfred phrased it. It was really great. He was like, we're not building a better you or a better Gotham. We got to build a better legend. So you have that where Bruce didn't act in the beginning when that robbery, he was like, now he's changing it. It's like crime is crime.
Yeah.
You know, and then of course we got the intro into our next big baddie, which was done in a nice way, I got to admit. You know,
who is Batman?
And then click.
What a riddle.
What a riddle. And then volume 2.
Yeah.
Take it away, Rich.
Yeah, I'm all ready. All right. So, volume 2. The Dark Knight must answer the greatest riddle of all. Who is Batman? Who is Batman?
Batman.
Change is coming to Gotham City between the death of Mayor Oswald Cobblepot and the emergence of the Batman. A new dawn has begun to shed its light onto the notoriously dark and corrupt city. But even as new Mayor Jessica Dent and her twin brother, District Attorney Harvey Dent, join in the Dark Knight and Detective Jim Gordon's crusade against Gotham's criminal element, a new threat arises, one that enjoys playing a simple game of riddles. Answer wrong and you die. Answer correctly and ... The second installment in the #1 New York Times best-selling series Batman Earth One reteams writer Geoff Johns with artist Gary Frank and introduces readers to a bevy of Batman's most infamous foes, but with unexpected twists and turns that build an all-new, incredible mythology for one of the fictional world's most popular characters. The Batman.
Nicely done, Rich.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
No, but I will say, regarding that, Rich, I do agree with you that I felt that this story, since we already laid down the foundations, was a bit more complicated and better for that. Because, again, the Riddler, and it's funny because I remember them writers for the Batman animated series saying that the reason that they stopped showing the Riddler so much is that they got tired of spending so much time trying to write good riddles. And I was like, yeah, that's kind of funny if you think about it. But again, I think that this one definitely did a lot in terms of world building, because it wasn't just the Riddler we saw. We saw, Killer Croc.
Yeah, Waylon.
Waylon Jones. We essentially saw what would become Catwoman. But the big bad was the Riddler. And it just kind of picked up. Now, this, again, for people who want to know, this takes place 6 months after book 1. So this is kind of like doing what Dark Knight did. Like, things have changed and Gotham is changing. But of course, some people don't want it to change.
Absolutely.
I will say I did enjoy the riddles.
Yeah, that first death scene was just creepy. It's like people go into an elevator, random people, and they start hitting the box, and then it's the Riddler. Of course, he's got a riddle.
And of course, they get it wrong.
Yeah, they get it wrong, and they die.
Yep.
And
do we want to read the riddle?
I got it.
Okay.
I got my book. 1 second. It's funny because whenever I think the Riddler, like, I obviously hear the animated series, but I feel like I just channel Jim Carrey. Riddle me that. There was a man who lived on the 30th floor of this building. Every morning, he would get in the elevator and press the ground floor to go to work. But when he got home, he would press the 20th floor, get out, and walk up 10 flights of stairs to his apartment. Why? Oh, am I supposed to give the answer? I wasn't sure how we're doing this. Okay.
Yeah, the correct answer, he wasn't tall enough to reach the 13th button, Clarissa.
You know my name? Hello? Who are you? Bad guess.
Boom, crash.
Yep.
Bang.
And then what's also interesting is that we kind of start the book off where it started the first time, but clearly it's a little better because now it's not just, hi, I'm the artist trying to be Batman. Now I'm Batman. And people are obviously scared. But of course, you've got Alfred in his ear. And it's funny because they kind of have that Batman Beyond kind of relationship where, old Bruce in the ear and Terry doing the Batman thing. Telling us, on your left. I just enjoy that Alfred is still like, just let 1 or 2 people die.
Yeah.
Keep the fear going. And Batman's like, I don't kill. Like, what is so hard about this?
You don't need to kill him. You just don't save him.
But I will say one of my favorite moments was, your food's getting cold. It's not cottage pie again, is it? And he's just like, I'll order a pizza. The subtle moments.
Again, Alfred did not get refined his chef skills in this one.
Yeah, clearly not. But look at the action, man. Like, again, it's just nice when you see like certain comics that are made that, again, if it was to be adapted into like a cartoon or a film, it would just be so easy.
Well, you think we know Riddler and Penguin are going to be in the Batman movie.
these were clearly some of the books that they used to inspire the new Batman. If that's what you're asking, 100%. Poor Bruce. He's so many things, but he's not a good driver.
No.
See, look at that. There you go. I'll order a pizza.
We need a faster car.
There you go.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, exactly. There you go. See, it's just there's your scene. A race car, but we just did all this stuff. It's like I know. Billionaires, am I right?
We're gonna pay you 40% more. All right, whatever you want.
No, don't forget, and we're creating college funds for all your children. Cheers.
Yeah, cheers, Panda Cat.
Yeah.
If you're just tuning in, we're talking about Batman Earth 1. We're talking about all volumes 1, 2, and 3, and we're currently covering volume 2. And volume 1 we just finished, where Cobblepot is dead. And now we have a more Batman still year 1. You said it's what, 6 months after the first one?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And then you got this wonderful bar fight, just showing that despite the fact that Gordon looks old, he is still a brawler.
Yeah.
Which is another one of my favorite Harvey moments. He was like, "Come on, I'm off duty. I'm off duty. It's night. It's night." He's like, "Night. It's 10 in the goddamn morning."
Like, you've been off duty for 3 hours, Bullock.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the roles have reversed.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Jim wasn't like an alcoholic. He just was kind of useless when it came to taking care of crime.
Hope everyone is doing awesome and toking on some good shit.
Oh yeah, before the show, absolutely.
Yeah. You know what it is. All right. So, and then again, you have that, like, having Jessica as the love interest kind of other character was really an interesting choice. I was kind of glad for it because it was nice to see someone different who could bring out a different side of Bruce. Like, that was one of the more subtle changes that I actually really enjoy in this whole new universe. I feel like she is what we wanted Katie Holmes' character in Batman Begins and then Dark Knight to be,
Right.
Rachel Dawes. Right.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, it's basically what we wanted.
Strong, more independent character.
Oh, this was great because it was such a difference. Because like you said, Rich, you have this Batman that's not a detective. So what does he know about preserving evidence? What do you know about fingerprints?
Right. Yeah, he's got to educate himself.
Well, that was great. And then, like, we also see our first hint of the Riddler because we know it's the Riddler because we're the reader, but the characters in the book don't.
I just want to point out real quick. I just love this. You're not much of a detective, are you? That's not my job.
No, another great moment is this. I loved this because, like, don't get me wrong, the neon question mark was great, but the scene where it looks like Batman has disappeared, and then he's like, "Oh, I'm right over here," just him climbing out of a good old fashioned window, like such a humorous play on essentially what is considered part of Batman's personality. He likes to make the dramatic entrance or exit. So,
Panda Cat says, "Yay, DC!" Totally agree.
Agreed. But, God, like, I have to be honest with you. Holy crap! Like, I think this is the one version of Harvey Dent. The entire time, I was like, God, what an asshole!
Oh yeah.
Like, he just rips these guys apart. Like, he just seems so angry all the time. Like, it's just, it is one of those, I'm like, yeah, no wonder you kind of, like, and again, foreshadowing.
Well, he went from California. He was a TV star on a detective show, and he came to Gotham. He went from palm trees and hot girls on roller skates to Gotham. You'd be mad.
Well, it's not even that. It's just, you see him and now he's just a boozed up washout,
Yeah.
But, oh man, so great. One more riddle. Yeah. And then I like how this whole idea that Alfred is just, it's just like, you can't trust too many people with this. Like, this is a dangerous thing you're doing,
And he's quietly, we don't know to what point he's building his team.
Mm-hmm. And then you had the next Riddler plot, which I will read that riddle. 1 second. And again, I got to give credit. The riddles were pretty good. It smells like green paint. It pours like purple paint, and it looks like a white van. What is it? And then you have that guy, a talking painting. It's some kind of joke. He's like, I don't tell jokes. And then, this nightmare scenario of gasoline instead of water,
So it smells like green paint. It pours like purple paint and looks like a white van. What is it? The answer
was white paint.
Paint.
Because it all smells and pours the same, of course.
Yeah.
And then he's so snide about it. He's like, I'm shocked one of you would get that, considering where we are. How disappointing. But again, you see another great moment in this whole thing where how both Bruce and Alfred are completely inexperienced for this. He's like, cover for me. Everyone's like, with what? What could I say that would be good? Like, well, Bruce had to run away from the fire. They suddenly remembered that he had a date. Like, what could you say, But it's also funny because the Riddler would totally be in a close vicinity to watch his work because he's such, like, for all the Joker is, he's such a narcissist.
So, Rich.
Yes.
You did not really care for the first one, but the second one seems like it sold you on it.
He said that he enjoyed it so much.
Yeah. I mean, I love the riddles. I love the introduction of Waylon, Killer Croc, showing that he's not an animal, not out to eat people. He's just a guy that has a horrible skin condition and incredible strength. And he'd rather just be left alone than be a sideshow freak.
I also really loved this kind of introduction because we know who this is, but the way
I forgot about this scene.
Yeah, the way that
Batman's injured and he drops into a garden where it just happens to be
Catwoman's penthouse.
AKA, we might as well, we can say it, right?
Yeah, we can say it.
Yeah, it's Catwoman.
It's Selena Kyle.
Yeah.
And
it turns out it's not even her apartment.
Right. And what I love is that Alfred ribs him about
it. We don't find that out till later.
What I love is that Alfred ribs him about it. He's like, who did this? Frankenstein? I was like, yeah, she did the best she could. And he's like, she? It's like, you hound. Oh, even this scene was really great. He's like, you can wear spandex. Like, it's not gonna help with there's like, you know what wearing body armor says? The guy needs body armor. And I'm like, boy, you've been at this 6 months and you're still a little cocky shit.
Yeah, that was a weird line.
But it was funny.
Especially since he wears nothing but body armor now.
But I also feel like the story lagged a little just because you had so much going on with whatnot. But I feel like it really picked up when he went into this, like right now when Batman went into the sewers to find Killer Croc. Because like you said, Rich, it would have been so easy to just make Killer Croc another villain because he's been this way for years. He's in the sewer, he attacks people, he eats people, he's more beast than man. But it was nice to see that he's just a guy, like you said, he's a guy with a horrible condition who was made to look like a circus freak. And then he got tired of getting hated and shot at, and he went down. So, I mean, he even makes it clear to Batman, he's like, I will show you where you can find the Riddler. You just got to leave me the fuck alone. You know, although I do love that he makes fun of him. He's like, "You want me to call you Batman?" Like you're sticking with that. That's what you're going with. And it's like, you're called Killer Croc. Do we really want to go with names?
Yeah, they do get creative with the writing. It's fun.
And I also love this. Like, Batman, you can easily see him picking a lock. And he's like, screw this.
That door right in.
Yeah, just Van Damme that door right in. You know? And then even how Riddler got his name. You know, because again, you got to remember, Edward Nygma loves to talk. He loves to prove. Now, it's not just about being clever; it's about proving clever. You know, he can't help himself.
Well, we have another riddle here, Drew.
Got you. 1 second. Goddamn riddle master up in here. Son of a bitch. I mean, what? Where's the riddle?
Is that a riddle?
Is that a riddle? I don't really think so. You know, he's just asking a bunch of questions, you know.
Oh.
You know, he's like, are you a madman wearing a mask and parading about for some validation of some kind? Or are you a selfless vigilante taking on the burden of protecting Gotham after watching it wallow in corruption and dirt? Are you both? Neither? Are you the killer of Oswald Cobblepot or a manufactured scapegoat? Who are we really is the unanswerable question, don't you think? You know, and then why don't you tell me who you are and tell me how you're doing this? That's a good question. You know, again, but I think the thing being for me was the scenario, you know, like it's a real scenario and the Riddler likes, I think it's just, Geoff Johns really loved it that the Riddler loves to play God. You know, in this scenario, it's you play my game or these people die. You know, he helps them get on the train. You know, he asks the riddle, which he's sure that Batman's going to get wrong, and even broadcasts it on the train, but Batman gets it right. And just in case you're all wondering what the riddle was, and I quote, I am the part of the bat that's not in the sky. I can swim in a lake in the moonlight and yet remain dry. What am I? And Batman actually figures it out because, you know, again, Batman's clever. A shadow. And surprisingly, the Riddler does not like the fact that he was beaten, and so he's clearly a sore loser.
That was the only riddle I got right without reading ahead.
Nice.
I admit I didn't get any of them. Just real quick, just how touching, you know, right before the blast, just this mother with her kid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's even more sad because you get this whole like, to me, I feel like this is when Batman really became a hero. He's down in the wreck. He's helping survivors. He's pulling bodies out, injured and whatnot, and helping to identify corpses. And then you got Waylon Jones, who's feeling a sort of way because if he had stopped the Riddler, he could have helped to avoid this. You know, so there's guilt altogether. You know, and then you can really tell, like, Batman, like, this is making it even more personal.
Yeah. He says, I did answer. I gave him the answer. Then he blew it up anyway. There were families on that train. Kids. He murdered kids, mothers and fathers.
And then the big conspiracy thing is wonderful. Like, again, I had no idea because you just think it's random. Or there's a pattern, you're just not seeing it. And just like the Prestige, where you kind of realize what's going on, it's, again, many murders to cover up the one. Although for me, the fact that he hands Gordon a bat phone, and the only thing Gordon can say is, wow, he really put a bat on it. You know, it was just one of those things that to us, that's the coolest thing ever. to a normal person is like, wow, this is a little much. Like, really?
I love how that's a running gag too.
Yep. Batman loves to put his logo on everything. We know that.
Mm-hmm. But another great moment is a little forward where I love where Alfred and Bruce are discussing what Batman is. You know, that Bruce considers himself a tool to help Gotham heal and be better. But Alfred is like, no, you're a weapon. Like, and Bruce is upset about it. He's like, you asked me to make you this. Weapons are designed to hurt people. And people like Jessica are just collateral. People like Gordon, you can't trust them. Like, you are a weapon. You know? And it's crazy. Also, I'm not going to lie, a moment where Jessica realizes that she knew is pretty great too.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of similar to how, like, again, in how Rachel Dawes in Batman Begins figured it out. Well, although I feel like Bruce told her. No, Bruce told her, but I feel like she would have known. You know? But
smart, that Dent family.
Mm-hmm. But my favorite moment is that this to me felt a little similar to Long Halloween. Do you remember when Harvey tried tying Falcone to Bruce Wayne?
Right.
Yep.
You know, so he just comes in and he's like arresting Wayne, he's accusing him. And this was a little bit more personal because he comes in and Wayne is kissing his sister. You know, but to me, the better moment was just Alfred going ham on these cops. Like, they just think, oh, it's just, you know, Bruce Wayne's butler. He's this old paraplegic guy with a cane. He can't do much. And he just, you know, wham, wham. It's like, wow. You know? And then
look at that. Look at the Riddler, man. He looks totally evil. And
he does. In the most casual cosplay that nobody will do because very few people want to be shirtless.
Right. Yeah, it's been a few years since I've had those ripped abs.
Thank you, Rich. Glad to know. But my favorite is you got Alfred and Bruce comparing bruises. What happened to you? Me? What the hell happened to you? And he's like, yeah, Harvey. We were talking and things happened. Harvey caught us. And he's like, good for you. Why aren't you behind bars? I didn't hit Harvey back. You know. And it's just like, I just enjoy how Harvey has such a dead-on dislike. Like, it doesn't even feel like justice. It's just, you like my sister. She likes you. I think you're fucking Looney Tunes. I want you not. I like, again, he's still just the bully protecting his sister.
Right.
But again, he's just being such a jackass. And then you have the Riddler's final riddle, which, like, this whole thing was so beautifully spaced out. Like, I'm really glad that we got it in a trade paperback, because I would have hated having to wait like 4 or 5 months just to get this whole thing done. We got this in one shot, you know?
Absolutely.
You know? And then I gotta be honest with you, the way that they did the scarring and the kind of the death of Two-Face, and then where they took it, to me, again, that was just like with Alfred killing Penguin. This, I did not expect that. You know, the twist with Jessica.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, that to me was one of the best parts. And it was also funny because I don't know if you guys felt like this, but I feel like this book has the multiple ending syndrome. Did you notice that? Like, near the end, I feel like they could have ended it at like multiple places. You know, like you could have ended it after the Riddler was stopped, or like when Killer Croc came in and saved the day, or like what did you guys feel? Like I felt that was very accurate.
Leo?
Yeah, no, I agree. What about you, Rich?
Yeah, they just kept giving us more. I wasn't going to complain about it.
No, totally not. But I just felt so bad because, again, Jessica was collateral, but it wasn't even his fault because it was all the Riddler, and yet again, Bruce knew. He was like, if I'm going to answer the riddle, he's still going to blow the place up. That's what he wants. So he beats him in his own game. I mean, I just have to be honest with you. If the Batman is any way adapts any of this, I will be thoroughly pleased, because this version of the Riddler was definitely very modern, but still very much Riddler. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I felt like an agent of chaos for sure, filled with narcissistic tendencies. That was just delightful.
Absolutely. I think my favorite moment is when you realize that Bruce is following him with the bomb, and you see that first moment of where you really see the Riddler and be like, oh shit. Like there's no that confident grin. It's like, nope, I'm following you.
Now what do we feel? Do we feel that Jessica Dent, like just her touching his head and the chemicals made her mad? She was already mad. The shock of his death made her mad. What did it?
My theory is that I think some of it was the unresolved trauma. Some of it was the chemicals. And I think you're right. I think the darkness was always there. Just it was a bit more pertinent in Harvey. Harvey was just,
it was all out there up front.
Well, they
more buried and repressed.
Mm-hmm.
They were twins, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you also have that. So again, it's just more of that good old-fashioned foreshadowing. So, but I mean, I think the other thing I loved, one, the unexpected twist of the, talking to Jessica and then Wayne, stay away from my sister. I was like, whoa, like you're dead. What the fuck? And then Jessica's back and she's like, what happened? And I'm like, oh boy, this is going to be interesting. Alfred taking care of Killer Croc was hilarious. He's like,
oh yeah, back and forth between them.
Oh, that was just wonderful. He's like, what does it eat? And like, food, old man. I eat food. It's like, excuse me, I'm right here. And then the Catwoman ending.
Yeah.
Although, to credit to Rich, the Lucius Fox ending was pretty great too. All right, I got another project, but we just did this car. And if you see them like
they got to get used to it.
Yeah, but if you see them like they're kicking stuff or they're hunched over hating themselves, it's just so funny. Like,
me and Mr. Wayne doesn't want the car anymore. We've been working around the clock to get it done, Mr. Fox. Mr. Wayne has another project in mind.
Yeah, and then like I said, the Catwoman ending was just as great because, and again, we didn't need to say names. She could be anybody, but we all clearly know who the hell that is.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, she has a cat with her. She has a paw print on her shirt. She has cat stuffed animals.
Right. She had the mask that we saw before.
Yeah.
All right. So because I think we're starting to run a little behind. So
we are.
Yeah. We were. I think we took a little too much time with book one.
Well, we're loving it though. And book one was what we were originally here for, but
That's
as a bonus, we're covering all three.
Okay.
Because quite frankly, when you read, the first one, you're gonna get hooked, even if you didn't love it.
Mm-hmm.
And
Riches are testament to that.
You just got to collect all three. And I have a link to them in the show notes if you want to pick it up on Amazon. So with Batman Earth Volume 1, Earth 1 Volume 3.
Right.
Harvey is dead. Or is he? Harvey Dent. A gang of thieves thrusts Gotham City into a state of fear when they are mysteriously well armed with military-grade weapons, flamethrowers, grenade launchers, and even tanks. And this gang claims it is funded by none other than the former district attorney Harvey Dent. Balancing his two lives, Bruce Wayne must find the truth by tapping his growing network of agents, including Alfred Pennyworth, Jim Gordon, Waylon Killer Croc Jones, and the savvy new Catwoman. Ooh. Bruce is distracted by the seemingly impossible return of another figure believed dead, his grandfather, Adrian Arkham. He must also confront his longtime friend, Gotham City Mayor Jessica Dent, who is scarred both physically and mentally from her experience with the Riddler, which resulted in the gruesome death of her brother. But is Harvey back, plotting revenge on a city he proclaims to be guilty? When Batman discovers the truth behind these many mysteries, his entire world unravels. And this book came out a little late. Actually came out this year. And just a couple months ago, I believe.
Mm-hmm. This one takes place a month after book 2.
You finally get to see the finished car there.
I love the car.
Yeah, it does look really nice.
Yeah.
Chicks love the car, Leo.
Chicks love the car.
This is why Superman works alone.
I just saw that clip recently.
That's my only favorite. One of my only favorite lines of the movie that is not Mr. Freeze. So,
I really enjoyed this book. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I also really enjoyed this book just simply because it took it in a completely different direction. Like this ancestor of Bruce, I was like, this is impossible. How is he alive?
Yeah.
But it's just, again, Gary Frank and Geoff Johns really make you invest in the story.
Where is Martha?
You get all the way to the end that he is not who he seems.
Mm-hmm. And then you have Bruce essentially breaking ground on his Bat Cave, and then you have Alfred and Croc bickering back and forth like they do.
How come we're trusting the service for?
It's almost like they're becoming brothers.
Yeah,
and Croc.
Kind of, actually.
That teasing back and forth.
How come we're trusting the circus freak Bruce? Keep pushing me. Pennyworth and Gotham's urban legend about Killer Croc eating people might come true. You can bloody eat me, all right. He started it. Bollocks. That's a waste of time.
He started it.
Exactly.
And I think he does he make a couple locations with or am I thinking something else?
I think you're thinking something else. They only made the one.
Yeah. I love that Killer Croc is helping him build everything though.
Yeah, it's such an unusual thing to see as an ally, but it's great. You know, and then again, everybody is still moving along. Lucius Fox is Bruce's spokesperson. James Gordon is perpetually overwhelmed and pinching his nose. You know,
Mr. Wayne was looking into boat racing, and last month he was obsessed with hang gliding. Mr. Fox, we spent weeks and millions developing synthetic sailcloth.
Okay, well,
keep it moving.
Yeah, basically.
Here's the next project.
And then you have Jessica with this, I don't know, kind of Phantom of the Opera-esque mask. You know, it's
tiny scar.
It kind of, you know what it reminded me of? Do you remember, did you guys ever see that Tom Cruise, Cameron Crowe movie, Vanilla Sky?
No.
I've never sat through the whole thing.
Yeah, but Rich, you remember how, like, he got disfigured and he would have a mask on to kind of make his face look presentable.
Right.
It's kind of reminded me of that a little, but
okay, I see where you're going with that.
I know, I couldn't believe I remembered that too.
Again, I just love the car.
Looks a little Knight Rider-esque, doesn't it?
A little bit, yeah. It's the wings in the back.
Well, I love how Gary Frank, and it's probably direction from Geoff Johns, but kind of like the Bale Batman, it's kept everything in realism. Like you could see this is somebody just took a McLaren one and just painted it black, added some armor.
My favorite is if you scroll a little up, you see that there's a family right there. And the son is like, yeah, awesome. And it's such a kid thing,
Yeah.
And the parents like, oh my, what the hell? And the kid's like, awesome. It was, again, the small moments in these 3 books really, to me, I look forward to the most. And even this, it was just all right, I'm going to burn him too. And he's like, okay, my turn.
Bat fangs extended.
Yeah, I was like, when the hell did he have that? Bat fangs. But this was super cool. This moment, like, thank God he got a better cape.
Yeah.
Like, look at that. That is just, what a beautiful image.
Yeah, just the Geoff Johns. Gary Frank. Yeah.
And then you have the Catwoman thing, which kind of, funny thing, it kind of reminded me a little of Michelle Pfeiffer when she made her cameo in Batman Returns. Remember, she stops the robber, disables him, and then does that thing. And I was like, oh, wow, yeah. It's kind of cool.
Drew, am I wrong? Or is like Geoff Johns just love to do origin stories or re-origin stories?
Oh, he loves those. Superman, Green Lantern, Batman. He loves redefining the mythos.
That's his thing.
It really is. Shazam, New 52. Whatever you say goes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he does a good job.
Thank you, Leo. That was very nice. Well, he does a good job. No one was arguing that, Leo. Then I love that you have this ancestor who just wasn't taken care of well. And even the guy, the psychiatrist, was like, yeah, they basically went like, yeah, we didn't know who he was and we just did whatever and everything. And they're like, he's like, that did not sound right. That was bad. And he's like, Bruce is like, yeah, what the hell?
Yeah, I'm gonna take care of him.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, bring him in Wayne Manor.
And we learn more about the craziness in the family. It's Martha saw her mother shoot her father, Adrian Arkin, and jumped off the roof of Arkham Manor.
Yep. And then we also get this idea that the Wayne family is cursed, that the bat is a symbol, is a curse that's been inflicted on the family. And again, what I liked is that, again, that references other stories that have always kind of said that Gotham was cursed. It's basically heavy with this almost primordial darkness, Oh, and then this was great. This Killer Croc scaring people for no apparent reason. Well, actually, no, it wasn't apparent reason. It was because they were beating a dog. And I was like, yeah. But I was like, oh.
Yeah, they got Bat Hound.
Yeah, he made a friend.
Did you call it a Bat Hound?
Yeah. Did you call it? Yeah. Did you call it a bat dog? Yeah. Why? Don't do names.
But what about Bat Cow?
Oh, and then he goes, oh, we can call it Alfred. We got Crazy the Ancestor there.
Oh yeah.
The sprites took my wife. They can't have my daughter too. The sprites.
This was so great. Like her eyes, I see her eyes in you. I see her in your eyes. I was like, oh my God, like this is great. But again, I just love that you just go from rage to bewilderment to sadness in like 0.3 seconds. And it was just so beautifully captured.
Yeah. And you definitely feel for Bruce because, this is,
This was great. What is this? It's a dog. It's the bat dog. I was like, I can't. All right. You can't call it that. All right. I'm going to call it Alfred. I was like, yo, I'm done. Like, I got to be honest with you guys. I'm very much a fan of sassy Killer Croc.
Yeah.
The Croc.
And we even got Alfred calling him Bat Dog.
Yeah. He just looks, it's Bat Dog. I was like, aww. Batman is a friend to the animals.
And that's a rare sight to see Batman or Bruce smiling.
I know. He's very grim. Very serious man.
Now, I was saying before, you definitely feel for him, just having family reintroduced to him, and it's turns out to be fake.
Yeah. But, it is what it is.
I like how they found it out where there was like layers and layers of fingerprints.
Oh yeah, that was pretty great. Well, we'll get to that in a minute. So we're breaking up this fight. It's standard gang war. We've seen Batman do it a billion times, but yet it is an introduction for. I cannot wait till I see someone cosplay this at a con. Like if I see that, I'm going to be very thrilled. Because to me, this was like, do you remember like the style of Catwoman in Long Halloween? This to me felt very much like that with the purple and then whatnot. But yet this still to me felt very much like anybody could make this with a wardrobe at home,
Right.
It falls back to that realism.
Right, exactly. And like this is very much clearly a first costume. Much like Bruce's was.
She took the emblem off her belt. She could also be Huntress.
That's true. Yeah. It's what I also like is, again, you got the Cheshire cat kind of feel to it, which, again, the symbols help out with. So I think my favorite of that is that, like again, this is so very much them. They're literally having a conversation while they're whooping ass.
I love this interaction. Who are you? You're a bat? I'm a cat.
And my favorite, she kisses him while holding a grenade.
Yeah.
I was just like, she would. And again, if you look down, he's totally stunned. He's like, whoa.
Yeah, there's something hot about that. A woman flexing her power while she's got a knife to your throat.
Or a grenade to your back.
Yes, one or the other. Or both.
Yep. She just takes the money and runs. Just like a Catwoman would. The faux interrogation scene.
Yeah, who'd want to get interrogated by Waylon? Oof.
An alligator man. And again, more of that foreshadowing, the half moon. You have they keep playing with it, like, is Jessica okay, or is she losing her fucking shit? And again, I thought the twists in volume 2 and 3 were great. Like this.
Yeah, this was a great twist. Because you really put into question whether he was alive or not.
Right. It's like, how are you alive? We saw you die. Like it was just so convincingly beautiful. of trusting Gordon. Oh, there we go. And then what I also like is that literally he introduced Catwoman, and normally like a previous Batman would have stopped her, apprehended her, arrested her, whatnot. He offers to basically pay her to be his informant. Like, again, more differences of of who they are and such.
Sure.
Well, isn't that similar to didn't he do something similar in Long Halloween?
No, it didn't really. They've just played around more.
Okay. He does throw well, throughout the other two volumes, he does throw money around. You know, like the homeless person that was having issues, he just tossed some money and
Yep, but I just like how he just reaps into a capsule and just like, yep, here's a stack of a couple $1,000s. Why do you have that? You know, I own all the ATMs, so I might as well be one.
Well, he's got an end game, which we find out not till the end of this thing. So, you know, and bringing Waylon in and bringing her, he's got to do it different ways with different people to get what he wants. So I think he's being manipulative as well, because he's Batman.
He's Batman.
What Batman does.
And again, he perfected the art of the disappearance finally, as you saw there. But of course, she thinks that's the hottest thing ever. She's like, "Oh, disappear from me, Daddy." I'm like, "Oh boy, here we go." Yeah, like look at that face. It's just like, hey, okay,
mischief.
Almost got him.
Yeah.
You know,
when you find something, call me on this. You actually put a bat on it.
Again, that's the running joke. Like, as long as we don't all start Batman and Robin this, where you have to explain why he calls it the goddamn Batmobile. I was like, oh, come on. Who cares?
He did a battery thing too recently, right?
Mm-hmm. But Rich, again, I like how you like, again, proving that Geoff Johns just loves origins. Here we are, the secret origin of Gotham City.
Right.
You know, deep under the caverns of Gotham, they released a terrible evil, not a coup, a bat.
A bat. The same symbol that you took, Bruce.
Exactly. Just, how could you?
Blasphemy.
Exactly. It's just like, these scenes were very powerful, but it's still like it was so weird to see Bruce with a grandfather. It's something we've never really seen before. So it was really interesting to see that, because Bruce, I feel like, is always, at least in the beginning, was always looking for the family he lost. You know, and that's why Robin's, Batgirls, Nightwing, all those guys, you know, that's important because it's him rebuilding his life with a family that I guess can keep up. And then, you know, back to this. The twist, you basically dig up Harvey's grave and there's nothing to be found.
Dun, dun, dun.
Mm-hmm. And then you get a call from your little friend. No, but this scene I really enjoyed, because I still don't know how they made it work, but oh my God.
Well, she could have been hallucinating.
It's true. Yep, we're down in the Batcave. Yeah, more. Again. Oh, that was great. She's getting paid. Like Killer Croc. She's getting paid. Like, what the hell?
Well, and again, in this being an Elseworld story, and how different Batman's trust level is, because he's already letting all these people into his inner sanctum.
Mm-hmm. Yet without removing his mask, too, by the way.
Yeah.
You know, the other funny thing is that when you see Jessica's scars, they're not really that bad. Like,
yeah, I didn't understand And what that whole extra mask was when she just basically had this tiny scar.
Yeah, but to me, look at that. What? Oh, I think it's even creepier that you don't see his other eye.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Like, this to me was the most unexpected thing. When I saw Shot's toys, I was like, oh my God, Toy Man. I was like, what a great reference. You know, because you don't expect him to be a villain for Batman. He's a Superman villain.
Mm-hmm.
You know? But amazing.
And you've said it before, but just the whole pacing of all three books is just very well done.
Oh yeah.
And you're talking about 2011 to 2021, and with all the foreshadowing, even from the first book that carried on until this third book. I mean, that's 10 years of thought process right there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now, has there been talk of continuing this? Because it's been a good seller.
Yeah, they've talked about it, but of course, no one can really confirm. But I mean, I don't know. Isn't that old saying? If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
But again, just committing to the imagery, like the messed up cop car, you know, the gang war spilling out. Like, it's just, again, so well paced. But I mean, God, we got to get to the twist, because that I did not expect.
No, not at all.
Harvey was dead, but he's not. It wasn't him. It was Jessica all along, but it wasn't Jessica. Like,
you got to sing it now. You got to sing it now.
What do you mean? I got to sing it now?
You said it's Jessica all along. It's Agatha all along. Never mind.
Oh, right. It was Jessica all along. I hate you so much. And then again, the fact that her and Bruce's grandfather were in tandem, I was like, wow.
Yeah, tandem.
Right. I was like, what a weird duo. You know? And then it was funny, you know, this reminded me of, you guys have watched Batman Beyond?
Yeah.
Do you remember that episode where Talia comes back, but you find out it's Raish occupying Talia's body?
I do not recall that episode.
Yeah, it's in Batman Beyond. Well, that kind of reminded me here. It's like, it's Jessica's body, but Harvey is talking.
Right.
So, you know, and then I thought it was so cute that you had that moment where Jessica tries to talk to Bruce and he just puts her back in her place. He's like, stay in your lane. I said, get back in your hole. Like, I'm like, oh my God. And then this was so unexpected. Branding him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't see that coming either.
Me too. Like, this was a great ending.
He'll be forever known as an Arkham now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And this Catwoman just comes in. Oh, you're going to have to pay me more. My fee, triple it.
So do you find it shocking that, unless I missed it, there was no Joker reference?
Yeah. I mean, I just, again, with all due respect to our fellow clowns in the room, you know, not every story for Batman needs to always be very Joker centric. You know, I think it's sometimes better when you give everybody their just due.
Well, and then what you always got to remember is that the last page of this, because they save the best for last.
It's true, but oh my God, this, again, I just love these stories when they just have these horror moments, because look at this. This is terrifying. The melting face, you know, and then suddenly you realize that, like, that's not flesh, that's clay. And then you're like, oh shit, no fucking way.
Yeah, the surprise twist of Clayface was really cool.
Oh my God. Yeah. And then, like Rich, like you said, that he had multiple fingerprints underneath. So you really have no idea who this guy is. He really is all the Clay faces. You know? I love that he literally went through all of them. It was amazing. And then what you also love is that there is no Jessica anymore. It's 100% Harvey. She's permanently Two-Face.
Right. Now, Drew, was Clayface made in the animated series, or was he in DC before that?
He was in DC before that, but they kind of his popularity in the show helped bring him back. And then what's even great here is in this scene is that you don't realize that essentially you're foreshadowing the outsiders. Right. Because you have Batgirl, you have Robin, you have Killer Croc, and then you have Ragman, who we see hinted at in the page before. You know, again, you're just taking it in such great directions, but you're not giving it away. It's just this will happen. We just don't say when. You know, but you see this. This is some of like the best foreshadowing of future events I've seen in a while. Haley's Circus. Everybody who knows Batman knows what Haley's Circus means. Yeah. Barbara. Come on. You know, the Ragman one surprised me for a second. Then I was like, oh shit. You know? I was like, wow, what a random, but like, again, it's just so much better when you see characters go in different directions. And I think that's why I like Elseworlds better, is that you have more creative control to go in different places. Like, look at this Arkham Asylum. This is gorgeous. Like, who wouldn't want to go here and be treated for multiple psychological trauma? Certifiable insane. I was like, I bet they have a day spa. You know, and then of course, Rich.
There you go, Leo. That's what you meant? That's what you needed?
That's what I needed.
There you go.
I mean, for me, the other favorite moment is that, like, you have the Toy Man working for Joker, which to me felt kind of like a nod to Dark Knight Returns. Because remember, in that book, they're working together.
Sure.
So I was like, wow, this is interesting.
You got the little peace symbol that I loved. I was like, oh, what a fun touch.
Honestly, for me, like, again, I liked the differences here. You know, the longer hair, the kind of widow's peak going. You know, instead of a knife, he's got what looks to be like a bloody, like, barbecue poker, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, and his posture is very weird and menacing.
Yeah, it was just, again, if they end the book here, I'm fine with it. But if there's more, obviously I'm going to read it.
Right.
You know?
Well, you mentioned, you know, the Elseworld books definitely given the writer the power to come up with stories in their own telling. But also, you don't have all the baggage of the continuity, which I absolutely love. You know, it's just, you can tell a good story and just, it can be just like a one-off, you know? Each of these books you could read just separately.
Yeah, totally.
You know, it's just, they're very well written and just, you know, just one and done. Absolutely love it.
Yeah, 100%. But at the same time, they beautifully tie in together.
Yeah. Exactly. Unlike, you know, and I told you guys I'm trying to get through the Rebirth series, and that's it's a tough read. Are you
talking about the Tom King stuff?
Tom King stuff. I'm up to.
I'm up to the Jokes and Riddle War.
I'm past that. I'm
okay,
I'm issue 90, I think.
Okay, it grew on me, but there were certain stories, in my opinion, with Tom King's run that were better than the others.
Yeah,
you know, like the Super Friends arc was my favorite because it was just fun.
Yeah,
you know, I think that once he stopped trying to be better than Scott Snyder and the Greg Capullo's run, and he really started embracing his own stories, I felt like Batman got better for that.
Yeah,
you know, yeah.
It definitely has its ups
it has
and
its pros
downs.
and cons. Yeah, like any series.
And I'm still trying to figure out the fact after. So the relationship happened with Catwoman, right?
Yes.
Okay. Because I remember people telling me, "Oh, it was just all a dream," and
No, it's not a dream.
No,
Leo wasn't a dream. There's no inception. There's no, was that Saint Elsewhere? Is that what that is? It was all a dream. None of that. All right. Do you want to rate? What are we rating this? Like 4 out of 5 batarangs? Or are we still doing crowbars?
We stick with crowbars.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Who wants to go first?
Yeah, go for it, Rich.
So if we're gonna do the whole thing of all 3 books, I'm gonna give it a 4.65.
Okay.
4.65 for all 3 all put together.
Despite me hating that huge point in the first book, again the continuity, them tying everything together, the foreshadowing, those guys make a great team. I can't deny it.
It's true. I'll agree to that. All right, so I'll go. So I'm gonna go with 4. I would say 4.5, 4.75. Again, I really rarely will give a 5 because I think very few comics are perfect as is. But I agree with Rich. Gary Frank and Geoff Johns make a wonderful team. They clearly trust each other. They give each other enough room to work. As an Elseworld, this is essentially what it is. This really redefined the Batman mythos in a clever way that allows it to go in its own route, but still stay true to the character. And as long as they keep putting them out, I'm going to read them.
Nice.
Okay. Well, in vain with you guys, 4.65, 4.75. I'm going to go 4.55. I mean, we're all roughly about the same.
Yeah.
It's just I would totally recommend this to anybody to read. Absolutely loved all 3 of them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's I'm glad I got into this late because I didn't have to wait 10 years for volume 3,
Yeah.
Hopefully we don't have to wait another 10 years for if they do more.
Volume 4.
Yeah.
Hopefully, Leo. Hopefully.
Yeah. It's we're gonna have to read their secret origin for Superman. We'll have to do that. Actually, I think it's on the list.
Probably is. Speaking of, what's next for our viewers at home?
Well, let me pull up our sheet in Google Drive. Comic book coverage. Okay. I need to see if this is on Comixology or not. Because I couldn't find this before. The Dead President's Arc of Deadpool.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So if we can't find that.
Yeah, I read that a couple weeks back.
Okay. Where'd you find it? Was it Comixology?
Readallcomics.com, where I get almost everything.
Thank you.
Well, we'll get a link then. The Dead President's Arc of Deadpool, and actually after that is Superman's Secret Origin.
There you go.
All right.
Awesome.
Look forward to it.
Well, gentlemen, thank you. This was a wonderful try review. And we're definitely going to have to schedule some time because I'm sorry if we decide we're going to do. I think we should do the One More Drink after, especially after the new Spider-Man issues out. The big Mondo milestone one, because seeing if they really do undo one more day, I was like, congratulations, this doesn't matter, so let's get wasted about it.
Awesome. Tell you what, Rich, keep us in the loop, let's get that going.
Don't worry, kids, you're going to see all of us making responsibly wonderful drunk decisions while reading comics on a Tuesday.
Nice.
Exactly.
Okay, so Drew, where do you like people interacting with you?
Usually online. I'm very friendly in person, but whatever. Facebook, you can find me, Drew Malo, Ghostbuster Man 1984. I write for Screen Rant, so you can just look me up on Screen Rant, and I do a lot of stuff. I'm occasionally on other shows here. I'm working a lot with Chris for the Spectacular Spider-Man, the Sal Buscema podcast. Working on a project with him. Should be really cool. And I nerd. I nerd hard.
That you do.
Go. Thank you.
Velvet Joker.
You can find me on Facebook as Rich Davis. Instagram, Velvet Joker 2021. I'm working on no projects except being a total nerd. Trying to catch up on all the nerd TV that I can find. And that's me.
Awesome. And for me, just Google Leo Pond. You find a bunch of stuff. Could be true, could be not. I'm not going to say which is which, but more importantly, follow these awesome people. I run a little thing called the Dorkening Podcast Network. Just about 40 shows on the network with a lot of awesome people doing a lot of awesome stuff. Links are in the show notes, so definitely give them a click and follow us. And, with that, we'll catch you guys later. Bye.
See you next Tuesday.
Yep.
Peace out.